Apartment's clean. It's nearly midday. My water delivery hasn't come, so I'm just going to leave the bottles and the money on the step. I need to go shopping for more vegetables, seeds, and possibly pop into the pharmacy because this rash on my eyes has come straight back as soon as I've started healthy living and taking medication. So clearly, it wasn't an allergy to dairy or alcohol because they are no longer my friends. I realise that before I can do my cooking, I need my healthful walk. So I've walked out of this grimy city centre onto Boulevard to enjoy the sea and the sunshine and the trees. Apparently, this is an art installation. I've just read the information on it and it says the crumbling pillars represent entropy. I don't know if I'm just not very good at art, but I think it's rubbish. On my shopping trip, I bought a new, stronger pair of trainers, like my old pair of fake New Balance, and a pair of sandals. They cost me 10 manat more than they did in Hassi Aslanov, those shoes, but I'm desperate. And then from the supermarket, we have one large courgette, two small aubergines, some yogurts, which I have to check the content of on my diet app, but I suspect they're better than a Mars bar. Onion powder, 2 cans of tuna, ruinously expensive, some nutmeg, some chia seeds, some hair conditioner, some halva, because even though it's sugary, tiny bit goes a long way, and that block will probably last me about 2-3 months. And from the chemist, some cholesterol boosting, blasting, killing tea, and some dry skin cream. So now I am ready to cook. Seems I'm a chickpea cookery channel now. So what I've done so far is, in light of the fact that I can't find a potato masher anywhere here, I have literally crushed 400 grams of soaked chickpeas with a fork, which I've now got in a pan. They look like this. And I wasn't sure because normally when I use chickpeas, I blend them, I puree them to make them into something. So I wasn't sure if I was supposed to remove the husks or not. So I've removed the more obvious ones, you know, if I see them kind of hanging about. But most of them I've left in there because I'm not a careful cook. And then my plan now is I've got mushrooms, carrots, onions, parsley, a really big courgette. I'm going to chop all those up. I might even grate them actually to make them really small. And they're going to go in the mix as well. I'm not sure. Am I going to fry them beforehand, you know, just with a bit of water and a tiny bit of oil? And then I'm going to mix in, I mean, this is my spice collection that I've got at the moment here. I'm going to mix in some of these that seem appropriate till it smells nice. And then I'm assuming, because this is quite dry, I'm assuming I'm going to need an egg to bind it, and then I can make it into like little balls or patties, you know, like falafel, but my own sweet recipe. Let's see how that goes. Right, so I have got grated courgette, grated carrot, loads of mushrooms, and some red onion. And I'm going to fry it up for a bit, but not with any fat, just with some water, just to soften it up before I add it to the chickpeas. And I'm going to add my spices in here so I can smell whether they smell good or not. So that's going to be my next move. Hi, I'm a cookery program now. So I'm only going to give it a couple of minutes because I just want to soften it. It's the mushrooms I'm thinking of. Mushrooms are buggers for doing my head in. So I'm going to give the mushrooms a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to add everything into the... I probably don't need to add even any water to this because the courgette and the carrot and the mushroom are very watery. Give it a couple of minutes. I've got some parsley chopped, ready to go in it. And then I'm not sure whether I'm going to use all these chickpeas or whether I'm going to put some of them aside, because I managed to get some tahini. I had to order it online after I combed the whole of Bravo but couldn't find it. Poor Walt kid had to come with like some tahini and some red lentils, and that was it for me. So I'm going to give this a few minutes, and then I'm going to add it to some of my lentil mix. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to use my lovely enamel bowl here. My enamel bowl. I'm going to fill that up with the veg once it's softened a little bit. And then I'm going to decide how much in the way of chickpea I'm going to add to it. Of course, now I'm actually filming this. It's taken a million years to warm up. But it'll get there, I'm sure it will. I might try using that fast forward button. I've never used that before. Or I might just stop. I think I'll just stop. So I'll come back when this is softened and do the next stage. Oh, it's starting to sizzle. That's always a good sign. Right, so this is now cooked slightly and cooled. It's lost some of its vivid flavour, vivid colour, unfortunately, in the cooling and cooking process. But it's looking like this, and I think that looks pretty good, actually. What have I put in it? This is golden ginger, which got my fingers looking like a nicotine addict. I've got some paprika, which I've just thrown all over the side. I've got some chili flakes, chili powder, put some of that in because the hotter the better. I don't even know what this is. It's green, but it smelled good. There is nothing in this world that cannot be made delicious with garlic, so I put loads of that in. Some black pepper, a little tiny bit of nutmeg because it makes for an interesting flavour. And I thought this was onion powder, but it's not. It's dried onion pieces. So I just threw a few in. It'll do. And then still to go, I've got some chia seeds and some flax seed here, but I'm not sure. Apparently these are very good, and these are going to make my cholesterol melt away. Just not quite sure what I'm going to do with them yet. So I've got my chickpea mix. I'm aiming to put about 250 grams in, which will leave me 150 grams to make tahini, hummus. And I've got this beautiful white egg because I think I'm going to need that to bind it. And I've just put all that through my food calculator. And my food calculator says that is going to work out, if I make 10 falafel balls, that is going to work out at 57 calories per ball. And that's including tablespoon of oil to cook it in. So I'm guessing at my ingredients here because I haven't got any scales, but so I've put 2/3 of that, which is about 250 grams in there. And then I'm going to mix it all up and see if it's going to need the egg or not, or if one egg, in fact, is going to be enough. So I think the best thing I'm going to do, once I've done this and kind of mixed it up a bit, I'll just get all those spices out of the way, is grab hold of it. Because I'm thinking, if I can make 10 balls, cook them now, they are super nutritious. My carbohydrates and my macros are working out a treat with this. You know what? I don't know if I'm going to need the egg. It's looking pretty good. So if you look now, look, there goes the egg. It's coming together quite nicely. I don't think that's going to need the egg to bind it. So that's going to reduce the calories by about 1 per portion. Eggs are on my no-no list. I'm only allowed something like 2 a week or something like that. So I reckon, yeah, this is going to be fine without the egg. If I get my fingers in there, get my hands in there, mush it up a bit, and then make it into 10 little patties. I've got some paper to put them on, and then I'm going to stick them in the fridge for an hour to shape up before I start cooking them. And then I think I'll cook them all, because that way I've got them ready. I can put a couple in the freezer, and take them to work with me if I need a snack. What I'm going to do with work is just go to the canteen every day, and if there's nothing there, then I need to have something with me that I can eat. There's always plain salad and there's always vegetable soup, but even the vegetable soup's got an oil slick on top of it. God, this smells so good. I'm not making that up, by the way. My kitchen before, I've just drunk a cup of herbal tea for lowering cholesterol, and my whole kitchen smelled like a liquidized health food shop. But now it smells of garlic and paprika and ginger. So let's have a look. Let's see what happens. Let me just get my bit of paper. This is slightly waxed on one side. I'm not sure where I got it from. I think it came from a package of some sort, but perfect for putting ingredients on. So if I just, let's get my hands in there. Yeah, this is going to, oh, God, I bloody love chickpeas. They're amazing. Right, this is going to be fine without an egg. Okay, so I'm going to shape up 10 little patties, okay? So I'm going to do loads of liquid in there from the veg, like that. I'm going to make 10 of those, and then I'm going to put them in the fridge, and I'm going to get on with my hummus. Just going to stop recording with my knuckle. There. That actually made 9.5, so I'm going to adjust my recipe slightly for that. But they're going in the fridge now, give them time to like firm up a bit before I put them in the pan. I've budgeted 1 tablespoon of oil. Honestly, I've had this oil since November. I don't use a lot of oil, and this is a really, really good pan. So I've budgeted 1 tablespoon. If it needs a bit more or a bit less, so be it. But I'm just going to try and keep the fat down. So these are going to go in the fridge for an hour, and I'm going to make some hummus as best I can remember. And I haven't got a blender, so it's going to be a very, very chunky hummus. Right, hummus. I've got the remains of my somewhat chunky chickpeas. I've got my jar of incredibly expensive tahini, which I'm not going to use too much of. I'm just going to see how it goes. And half a lemon. And then, because garlic is life, I've got my garlic, and I'm probably going to put some chili in it because chili is also life. So I'm going to start off just by, I've got nothing. I've got no, none of the things that I use at home. So I have got no fruit thingy, although to be honest, if I'm doing a lemon, I usually just do it like this anyway. So I'm going to squeeze half a lemon in there. Thankfully, no pips have dropped out yet, so that's always good. Just to soften it up. And then I need a teaspoon for this tahini. So that's juice of half a lemon, bit of pulp gone in there as well, won't do it any harm. There we go, I might need the full lemon yet. Teaspoon tahini. Bit of quick stir. Ooh, it's gooey tahini. I love this stuff. I love anything made of sunflowers. So I'm going to put, oh, that's a very big teaspoon. 1, 2 large teaspoons, which I will count as tablespoons because they were big in that. And then I think it's just going to be a case of beating the bugger until it mixes in properly. I can put another one. I've kind of calculated the calories for it with 3 tablespoons. So I've put 2 in and see how it gets on before I put the spices in. This bloody kitchen is tiny. Right, so if I just keep going like this, okay, I ain't got hummus so far. I've got something a lot drier than that. But we'll just keep beating it together. Maybe it does need that 3rd spoonful, or maybe a bit of lemon. Oh, actually, you know what? It's coming together. It's coming together. Looking a bit more solid than the average hummus, but look at that. Okay, so we need to keep doing that for a while, clearly. And it is starting to make something that vaguely resembles a very, very thick kind of hummus. I think it would become hummus balls, maybe. It's the problem with not having, you know, if it was normal, if I was at home, I'd have stuck those chickpeas straight into my NutriBullet with a bit of water, and then they'd have been all ready. I might put a little bit of water in this, actually, just a drop. You know what? This is making something. This is amazing. Look, it is a solid paste. Let's see. Tiny drop of water. There we go. There we go. That's loosened it up a bit. And then it definitely needs some flavour. As nice as tahini is, and as nice as chickpeas are, they're a bit rank if you're just making them into a paste on their own. They need some flavour. So I just, yeah, right, I'm going to put some garlic in. Garlic is life. That is a lot of garlic, I know, but I don't care. And then a pinch of chilli. I want to put some black pepper in or not? Maybe, oh God, look at my fingers. A little bit of this ginger. And get it open. There, that should go an interesting colour if nothing else. It'll look like some kind of weird paste. But let's see what happens now, because that will hopefully add some real flavour to it. And I can have it on crackers, or I've got some brown bread. There's a little bit more water, I think. I budgeted this one as making 5 portions, which I think it will make quite easily, but it does need a little bit more water. Yeah, like a bit more. Make it more of a liquid paste than a solid one. Smells all right. Smells good. Ginger makes everything smell good, doesn't it? Right. I think what I need to do here is just sit down and just keep sending it round with a fork and mashing it together for a few minutes. So I'll come back when I've got it on a cracker and I can show you how it is and do a taste test. Okay, back in a mo. And that is my hummus done. It's got a lovely yellow colour from the ginger. I did whip a load more garlic into it and a little bit more water, sprinkled a bit of paprika on the top. And now I can choose. I can have it with either this piece of very dark wholemeal bread or on this cracker. I got my spoon at the ready. I have already tasted it. It is nice. It's not as good as shop-bought hummus, but there's no oil in it. So that's probably why. But yeah, I reckon I can put that on some crackers or a slice of bread. I can take that to work because I'm not very good at breakfast. And I need something to eat when I take my tablets in the morning. Pretty pleased with that. Right. Join me next time for more wonderful tips on how to cook with no joy in your life whatsoever. I now have a delicious bowl full of red cabbage, lettuce, spinach, red onion, carrots, and a sprinkling of flax seeds because apparently they're excellent for cholesterol. I have a dressing which is made of mayonnaise, only half a tablespoon of mayonnaise, some plain low-fat yogurt, and some curry powder, and a hot pan. These ended up making slightly fewer because one of them ended up on the floor. And I'm going to see it's smoke in this pan. If it's possible to cook them without the oil, I don't think they're going to hold their shape very well. So I think we're going to end up with sprinkles of chickpea patty rather than, what's the word I'm looking for? Rather than actual actual patties. So forgive me, I've got no hands left. I need to squidge these buggers together before I put them in the pan. I'll be back in a minute because I've left my camera on the wrong side. Yeah, they didn't keep their shape. So I'm now God, I feel like such a vegan right now. I'm not a vegan, but I am absolutely shocked by the amount of saturates that there are in meat. So that's going to be off the menu for quite a long time, I think. Just little amounts. So yeah, I'm just going to spin it round like this till it's all cooked and crisped up a bit. And then, like I say, I calculated for 3 out of 9. So I'm going to have a third of this, cooled down slightly, sprinkled on my salad, which I've now tossed in the dressing to make it more edible. Because I'm good with salad. I love salad, but not to a point where I can just eat it dry. So this was my first Sunday cooking healthy heart food. Not sure how I feel about it, but this smells good and I know it will taste good. It just looks like absolute muck, but I'm not too worried. Next time I'm going to try and make soup. Join me for that.